खैर जो है अब we need to rename this name to the P3 SKU saved view, where we have P3 SKU saved view action, where we have P3 SKU saved view action. Here already we did rename also T1.3 build SKU import into P3 SKU. We completed this one even. So just we need to insert these three into in our process T1.3 build product hierarchies. We need to insert. So we need to insert this third action to T1 build product hierarchies. You can see here each and everything they are guiding. So we need to insert this T1 build hierarchy product hierarchies into these three actions. Already these two are existing. Third one we completed. So we should insert this one. I will insert and run. You can see here already these are existing. Here existing actions are there, T1.1, T1.2. So I will add this one. So T1.3 build SKU I added here. So after adding that I should run this process. Then I should run T1 build product hierarchies. I should run here. Yes, completed. हमें ऊपर आ जाओ. So we can run this one. So after running this one, you can see successful process is completed. So each and every one is imported. Each and every detail is we are storing into this this process we are inserted. So you can see here. So anyway, this we completed each and everything. So as we completed this up to user story number 2. This is we can start here user story 3 for sprint 1. This is up to user story number 2. So what about others? Did you completed each and every one to up to till yesterday's activities? Others, Saujanya, did you complete it?
No, sir, I have not completed.
You should complete. You will get confused otherwise if you miss this topic. So 100%.
Yes, sir, today I will complete it.
Today you should complete it 100% activities, otherwise you will get confused. So actually it is a little tricky, this one. So we should clearly understand each and every step, and we should add these actions to whatever we are they are providing that process. We should insert these each and every actions into this process. We should run. So before adding the actions, we should rename the actions. Each and every action what they are guiding, we should rename. How we should rename means they will guide us. Here they will guide. So what is the action name, where you are importing, each and everything you can see here, and they provide name, proper name. So on the basis of that proper name, we should give proper rename the proper name to actions. Each and every actions we should give proper rename. So already existing are there 1.1, 2, 3, 4. So we added 1.5 and 6. We completed 1.1 and 1.2 are there. 1.3 is added, and before that we added 2 days back. So we added something like geographic hierarchy. So in this one you can see what are the, we added T 3.1 build region, build country, build location. So you can see T 3.1 build region, build country, build location. These actions we did rename. So after completing this import into G1 region, G2 country, G3 location, we did this one. So these are the each and everything. So we should be careful what we are doing. Each and every activity we will get one action. That one we should rename, and we should add these actions into different process what they are providing. So this is what we are doing. So you can see, we can go ahead. Next activity, like we have user story number 3. So in this one, what we need to do, we completed user story number 2 here so far. So we can start our user story number 3 up to user story number 1 and 2. What we have stored details, user story number 1 and 2.
Product and geographical details, sir.
Geo
Kept them
hierarchy
in the
details.
processes.
Yes.
And product details with product SKU details.
Yes.
And we have created actions for that importing, and we have inserted in the processes and run them.
Okay. So in user story number 1,
Geographical hierarchy data we have imported to the flat list.
yes.
Then we have
Geography means
FDO
like you can explain under the geography what are the list we are getting.
country flat list, region flat list, and location flat list. We have imported data into those lists. Those actions, import actions were kept in the processes.
Okay.
That process we have run, sir.
Okay. So in user story number 1, we are stored like region details, country details, location details, each and everything we have stored. And in user story number 2, product details like product family, product SKU, each and every detail we have stored. And next you can see in user story number 3, we are storing here beginning inventory. So third model user story sprint 1 requirements for beginning inventory and historic volume data. Beginning inventory means opening stock. So how much you stock products you have initial, and historic volume data. Historic value means in previous year how much product you sold. Each and everything they will cover in historic value. So each and every month, each and every week how much product you have sold. So each and everything it will provide in historic volume data. So you can see, first you will import data into beginning inventory module. So first we need to create one beginning inventory module, and we need to import the in opening how much stock we have. The data includes the opening stock count for the each product, each and every product how much we have initial at each of Unicorn Candy Company distribution center. So in each and every distribution center how much product we have initial, we should calculate that one. And next then you will build a new module for historic volume data by product. So each and every product is in previous year how much we sold, each and every detail comes under historic volume. Two modules we need to create here. So as a model builder I need one central location where I can import Unicorn Candy Company product historic volume and beginning inventory data for each distribution center. So we should know opening stock and historic value. So previous year data we should want here. So I need this because I need reference this data in subsequent model calculation, and it is time consuming and there is higher risk of error or omission if I must upload it more than one location. If I didn't store it one location, what happens? If I they will ask what is the use of data hub and why we are using data hub. So generally they will ask. So what is the answer for why we are using data hub here? Why we are storing data in one place? Yes. Why you are storing here, Ahmed? At one place, why you are storing data? why we are using this data hub?
Because every time we can reference to that data hub as a central repository. We have every data there. Every time we want, we can take from there.
Yes, okay, that is one advantage. And another advantage, if I take,
We won't be having it.
yes,
We can store in one location. We can avoid the omissions or the errors.
means if we take more than one location, what happens? There is chance of getting error. Okay, na? We in data hub, what happens generally? We each and every data we clean the data, and we bring unique format and store the data in data hub. Generally, in other data sources, data will be different format. Okay, na? Each and every data in other data sources will not be unique format. You are getting data from 3 to 4 sources, Excel, SAP, Oracle, and whatever. So the data may be different format. But while bringing in data hub, you will bring it in one unique format, so that there is no risk of error here, and there is no chance of omission of data. You will not forget to bring any data here. Each and every data is there in data hub. Simply you can, whatever the data you want, simply you can pull into our spoke model, financial model and supply chain model. There is no chance of getting forgetting here. So that is the advantage we have by using the data hub. So we should explain about data hub also while explaining project roles and responsibilities. So we used to pull data into other data sources to data hub, and data hub to our spoke model. So that is the data hub is a central location where we store the data. So that is the reason we are using data hub here. So I will know this is successful when I can import the historic volume and beginning inventory details and see the changes displayed in all related models. So what happens, and if you change any data in data hub, it will reflect where you are referring this data hub model. There is no need to change each and every model. So in data hub model, if you change one data, so that data where you are referring, automatically it will get change. This change will get reflect in referenced models. So that is the advantage. So each and every time there is no need to change the data even. So if you want to change anything, simply you can change in data hub. So that is the reason, another reason. So we are storing here beginning inventory and historic details here. So you can see here data, import data into beginning inventory. So beginning inventory, opening stock, how much you have, you can see here. So data beginning inventory module is already created in data hub model. Already it is get created. So review the line items and dimensions for the module, then upload the file to import the data. We have just empty data module we have. So in that we need to import the data. So you can see here, review the data beginning inventory module. You can open our module here. So data beginning inventory module, already it is existed. So data beginning inventory module. So they are provided module. So we need to import the data here. So what they are asking, so what are the dimensions we have? You can see here, SKU plot list, SKU plot, yes, location plot, distribution center. They are providing this dimension. So yes, we have this dimension, and line item you can see beginning inventory and filter. These two line items we have here. If you open, you can see what are the line items, beginning inventory and filter. Both line items you have here. So you can see here. So format is number boolean. It is fine. Beginning inventory count. This line item is used to count the opening stock for each product SKU by the distribution center. So we need to calculate this one. So filter, does distribution center hold the inventory for this product SKU? So means it will check either the product existing or not. If it is okay, so then it will provide yes, true. Otherwise, if it is 0, it will give false statement. So you can see here, so 2 line items you have. Import this data into this module. So first of all, what should we do? Download this file, import data into file data beginning inventory module. So before you continue, confirm the formula for the line item beginning inventory. So filter line item, we should use this formula: beginning inventory less than or greater than 0, means it will check the either do we have stock or not in filter line item. So beginning inventory less than or greater than 0, yes, already it is exist, so there is no need to write anything here. So we need to import the data whatever we have downloaded this file. So this line item will use it to filter the data, show only product SKU for which each distribution center carries the inventory. Means if it carries the product, then it will give true. It doesn't carry any product, then it will show the false statement. So you can import the data here, upload new file. So just now we have downloaded here. You can see here, so SKU flat. So for SKU flat, new job or EN, new job or FR. So which one I should keep here for SKU flat? Yes,
Column 1, sir.
for SKU 1, column 1, I should select. So next you can see, yes, the location flat distribution center, New York. For distribution center, which one I should keep?
Column 2.
Column 2.
Column 2, yes. And for data beginning inventory, what should we keep?
Column 3.
So we have filter beginning inventory, 2 line items we have. So that is the reason we are keeping column header here. So you can check each and everything here. It either it is get mapped or not, we should check each and everything. We should check. Yes, each and everything is mapped. So yes, we completed our import. Yes, you can see here, wherever you get product, wherever you have inventory, it will give true statement, checkbox. So wherever you don't get any product, you will get simply nothing, you will get. Wherever you get product, it will give true statement. That is the filter function. So anyway, we completed this import. So after completing this import, we can go ahead. So what other activity we have? So after completing this one, beginning inventory, create saved view for export. So we need to create saved view here. So whatever we have created just now, that for that module, data beginning inventory, we need to create saved view. So in data hub model, data 01 beginning inventory module, apply filter and create the saved view. So we need to apply the filter and create the saved view. So what is the name for that saved view? Export is the saved view name. So we should first of all save the view then you can give the name. So export, so you should click save the view and you can open that module saved view, data beginning. So you can see here data beginning inventory, export saved view. So here we need to do, so whatever the changes we want to, here the filter needs to work on one axis, so pivot the modules. So pivot the module, we need to do pivot in column, line item should be there. So you can see in columns line items are there, column fine. So in rows SKU plot and S location plot distribution center should be there in rows. So you can bring SKU plot and these two things in rows. SKU plot list and yes, we brought here in rows. So apply filter to display only product SKU inventory values not equal to 0. So we should apply filter here. So whatever the products we are getting only values, means that whichever the distribution center consists the data, so not equal to 0, that only we want, other detail we don't want. So first of all we should store this date saved view. First of all we should save this one. And then we should apply the filter. You can see here. So we are applying here data 01 and for beginning beginning inventory line item we are considering, and where is greater than 0, we want wherever greater than 0 that values we want, we don't want other values. So you can select, click here OK. So that whenever you get values, that detail only you can see here. So beginning inventory wherever you have, that detail only you can see here. Wherever you got 0, each and everything you will not get here. So for example in saved view, in general view, what happens in default view, you can see lot of zeros you can see. So for example if I close this saved view, you can see simply, so each and everything wherever you have value here and 0 zeros you have. In filter view what we have done here, just wherever we are getting values, that only we are asking to show. So that is the reason we don't want these zeros. So we created saved view and we did this one. You can see here, if you want to open this one, you can simply open. So you can see this one. So after each and every changes, we should save the view. So you can see here, so they have provided here screenshot also. So export view in saved view you can see. So new job bar en, new job bar fr, each and everything you can see. So you can compare your answer, beginning inventory 13,945 each and everything. So you can compare your answer with screenshot of learning center. Is it okay or is there anything wrong here? Yes, Ahmed, is it okay? Yes, is it okay what we have done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is the way how we need to do each and everything. So we created saved view and each and everything. Next you can see introduction to time ranges. So where we use time ranges and how we use time ranges. So you can see here. So generally what happens, so in time calendar we set for 2 years, 3 years, like that. So whatever the time we want, we can set generally. So in model calendar, whatever you use, so that time will be applied entire the model. It will works for entire the model. So for example, entire the model you are using 3 years data, but unfortunately for one module you want 5 years data. So in that situation, what should we do? Entire model you are using 3 years data, but unfortunately for one module we want 5 years data. So whether we need to increase entire model to 5 years or particular that module should we increase 5 years? What should we do if you need to if you need to data for 5 years for only for one module, not entire model? If you want entire model 5 years data, you can create 5 years model calendar. That is a not at all problem. But if you want only for one module, you want 5 years data, what should we do?
Time ranges.
So we need to create time ranges here. So you can see here in model calendar whatever we are using. So this is, you can see here. So this calendar whatever we are using, model calendar whatever we are setting time here, this will be entire for your workspace. So not workspace, your model, sorry. So your model, so wherever you use model calendar means generally you can see model calendar and time ranges. So if you go to modules, you can see time scale. So not applicable, if you are not using, not applicable. So if you are using here time scale year, so what is the time range? Model calendar means how many years you set in model calendar. For example, 3 years if you set, time range will be 3 years here. For example, if you create one separate time range, like as I explained just now. So if I want 5 years data, in that situation what will we do? Simply we create time range. So here we will not use model calendar. So instead of model calendar, we use another time range. If I create time range, you don't have anything here. You can see, if I click here model calendar only I can see. But for example, if I create time range, so you can see simply, if I create new time range, so example time range, starting period is 2019, number of years is 1 year. If I create 1 year time range, so if I want only 1 year data, so if I click here model calendar and example time range, both you can see here. If I want model calendar, if I for 3 years or 5 years, whatever we set for time model calendar for model, so we can get it. But if I want to only 1 year data, in this situation what should I do? I should select this one, whatever I have set, so that one I should select, example. So that is the way. So this is the way how should we do each and everything. So you can create time ranges now. So if you want more than, if we are setting time calendar for 3 years, so in model calendar we are setting 3 years. If you want 5 years data, then also you can create model time ranges. If you want only 1 year data, less than model calendar also you can create time range. So that is also advantage. Why? Because we don't want calculate 3 years data each and every time. If you want to only 1 year data, if your model calendar is 3 years, So then in that situation also you can create time ranges. It will also save your workspace. That is also we have advantage by creating the time ranges. So we can increase the increase the model calendar size, and we can decrease the model calendar size. Means if you want less than model calendar size, then also you can create time ranges. If you want larger than model calendar, then in that situation also we can create the time ranges. So I will delete this one example model calendar. We need to create new time ranges here. You can see we have activity. Is it clear what is model calendar? Why we are using this one? Yes? Faiz, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Why we are using a model calendar? Model, when we are using model calendar and when we are using time ranges?
Sir, if you want to add one more year, or if you want to reduce 1 year, if the model calendar is for 3 years, if you want to see the data of 2 years, or if you want to see the data for 4 years, you can add the time ranges and you can access to the one more year.
Okay, Saujanya, when we are using these time ranges?
So, based on the requirement of module, if you want to see the data for 1 year, if the model calendar is set for 3 years, but we only want to see 1 year, which is within the model calendar period, then we can set that 1 year to that module. Or if you want to see beyond that model calendar time setting also, we can use this time ranges. First, we need to create the time range, then apply that time range value to that module. So based on the that specific scenario, we can use the time range there.
Okay, fine. So we can create here, we have scenario here. So activity we have. So introduction to time ranges. In the model calendar, model builder user story also include the importing weekly historic value by customer account and product SKU. So the historic value information is 2019 data. The data hub model current period is set as a January 2020, and model time setting do not include the past years. In this model time setting they didn't include past year for supply chain model. So you could add another year to the model, that is also possible. However, that increase the size of the model by adding an additional year to any module that uses a time as a dimension. If you add each and every, if you add in directly model calendar, what happens? So number of years, if you add model calendar size, automatically workspace size will increase, model size will increase, not workspace is constant, model size will increase. So our workspace will become waste. That is the reason. So we can create time range, and whenever you want you can use simply. So the historic value module only one that will include the 2019 data. So 2019 data you don't want anywhere, only you want this 2019 year for historic value module. That is the reason we are using time range here. So instead of adding additional year to model calendar, model setting, you will use time range. Only one module you need this one. That is the reason we don't want this data. This 2019 data we don't want here. That is the reason we are using here 2019. So we are simply creating time range for 1 year, and simply we can use. You can see here, create time range. So time range name is financial year 2019. New time range, you should click on time ranges, then you should give name financial year 2019, and start period December 2018, number of periods 1. So financial year, you can see here start period December 13 you can see December 30, 2018. This is your start period. Number of periods 1. Aggregations, and we don't want any aggregation here. So you should remove these aggregations. So save the time range. Simply you can save the time range. So whenever you want, you can simply use this time range instead of using model calendar. So you can see here next activity for create historic volume module. So we need to create new module here in data hub module, create new module. We need to create new module, historic volume module. What is mean by volume? What is mean by volume, Hamed?
Number of sales.
Volume means number of sales. Already we have created module in FP&A, revenue volume input module, revenue. Already we have created revenue volume to input module, like in FP&A module we have created. Volume means sales, how much happened. So you can understand how much sales happened last year by watching this historic volume module. So we need to create new module here. So create historic volume module. So SKU flat list. First of all, you should click on modules. Insert module. Give name data03 historic volumes. SKU flat list dimension we should take account flat list, and time should be financial year 2019 time range. So we should take first of all dimension SKU flat list, SKU flat, and what is another dimension? Account flat list, and time should be not this model calendar, whatever we have created just now, that one we should consider. Financial year 2019, we should consider this one. So functional area should be master data, category should be under the data. So you should copy this line item. You can paste here. So you should click on OK. Then you will get create module. So format should be number. So each and everything is fine. Historic order volume by product, SKU and customer account. So product wise and customer account wise you will get here. So purpose. So this is just we created the module. Then you should import the data into this module. So import data into historic volume module. So you can click here, import data file into data03 historic volume module. So simply you can import the data. Click on here data, click on import, upload new file, historic volume, select historic volume file. You can see here. So for time, which column we should select here for time?
Column 3.
Column 3 we should select. For SKU flat,
Column 1.
we have column 1. How we are selecting, Hamid? Did you got? We need to check each and everything inside the bracket. Whatever you have data, you should compare here. So time we should compare week. SKU flat is there here, and accounts are there. For accounts flat, which one I should select? Column number 2. So finally, what you have for data, historic volume, line items,
Column
volumes.
4.
So you can select column 4 or column headers, you can select here. So this is the total detail we have mapped. But each and every time you can see here, time we should check each and every time very carefully. So this time you should select here match names, you should select, and not time period and each and everything. Match names you should select here. So then only you will get proper result, otherwise you will get error here. So it should be there match names here. Then you can click run import here. Yes, we didn't checked each and every tab here, that is a mistake. So first of all we should check each and every tab. So without checking the tabs directly, only we watched that time tab and we didn't check other tab. Once we need to check each and every tab. So column header, each and everything is fine. You can check each and every tab. So then only we can go ahead. So otherwise, yes, here not getting mapped. That is the reason. So we should map each and every time. So then you should click on run import. Otherwise simply you will get error. So I only watched this time and I didn't watch this other tabs. So you can click here. Yes, we completed the importing process. So we should be very careful. Each after mapping also we should check each and every tab. So then only we should go ahead. Otherwise what happens simply, so you will get error if is there anything is not get mapped under the tabs. So we should get error, we will get error. So that is the reason we should map each and every time manually if there is anything is not get mapped, and we should check each and every tab, and time should be each and every time we should check even time. So that is also most important thing here. So
One doubt, sir.
yes,
Sir, if we do any mistake, just like now happened, directly we can go to the import and we can import again, sir.
yes, we should do again, we can import.
I thought that if we do any mistake while importing, I thought of that we need to go to the history and we need to restore the ID. That's what I thought. I think no need of that.
So if I didn't get anything now, if I do again import is a very simple process. If you go to again that one, I didn't get any data. So if I do import, what happens? Nothing will happen. Same process. So again after doing restore also I need to do import only now. Without importing, how should I get data if I do restore? If in this situation what I did here, in this situation if I did restore, it will go to previous stage. Then again I should import the data. That's it. Same. What is the use of here restore here?
Here
Okay,
you
now?
already imported. Here you already imported the data. Again you are importing. Once the data will
I
be
didn't
twice
get data files. It is get failed now. Where I get import? If I get import,
Yes, sir.
in that situation, so if you want to restore the data, you can restore. But I didn't get any data here. So what is the use of restore?
Yes, sir. Fine, sir. Clear.
So then also if you do whatever thing, you should do again if you restore also. So initial, what is the use of restore means, it model will goes to previous stage where you left last time. Okay na, each and after we are doing each and every changes, you will get one id. If you restore that id, model will goes to at that point of time where model is exactly there. Okay na. So if you want to go back to that state, if for example if I have done so many activities till now, so I don't want all these activities, so what should I do? Simply, so far I can see here history, what are the changes last 24 hours. So I can see here from morning onwards what I have done. So 13, this is 13, this many activities I have done so far. You can see I have started here, change the process, each and everything. I don't want anything here. Simply yesterday where I was there, exactly that status I want. If I restore this id, whatever I did changes, each and everything will gone, and I will get this yesterday portion I will get. Okay na. If I want to do that one, I can do. Again, if I want again all my changes, then I should restore this id. I will get back all the changes where I am exactly this position. So I will, you can see here data historic values I created here. So these changes I will get here. Okay na. This is the advantage of, so you can restore and you can cancel and you can restore whatever you want to do. So this is the advantage we have by using this one. These type of functions you need to check each and every time whenever you are free. So you will get clear idea about restore and each and everything. Okay now, guys. So different options we should check, how it will getting restoring, how it is happening, each and everything you should check whenever you are free. So each and everyone you should do, then only you will get proper idea. So you will get clear idea. So otherwise if I am telling each and everything, you will looks like you will feel like it is story. So if you are practice, then only you can get confident. You will get confident, and interview point of view you can say very strongly. So this happened, this happened, this happened. If you do like this, this will happen. If you do like this happen. So each and everything you can say very confidently. So as a real time worker you can explain. So that is the difference, listening and practicing. So you can see here we completed this one, historic volumes. So create filter module, you can see here we need to create another module, create filter system module. So here you can see another module we have.
Sir,
Yes,
while creation of time range, there is one option, number of periods.
yes,
That number of periods you have kept it as one.
yes.
So what does that mean, sir?
1 year, number of period
1
means
year.
1 year. I want only 1 year data, 2019 data. If I keep 2 years data I will get. So 3, if I keep 3 years, like that you will get.
Yeah, based on the requirements, if you want to analyze historical data for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, like that, you have to increase the number of years in the model calendar.
Model
With
calendar.
respect to the start period, with respect to the start period, number of years that it is going to take.
Yes, yes. In
Okay, sir.
someone is asking doubt where we select time ranges, means in time only we should select. I clicked here and time ranges, that's it. New time range. This is the way, that's it. Yes, we have inserted in this module na already, where we have that module. So you can see here already this module we have used time range. So while creating this module, historic module, financial year 2019, you can see here where we selected, means while creating this module we inserted here, drag and drop. Just we have removed this time and we used our time range. I did drag and drop. Yes, this is the way. So we have inserted this financial year 2019 time range here. You can see here, instead of this model calendar, you can see financial year 2019 we have used here. So that is the difference, how it will looks. So anyway, you have create filter system module here. So another module, new module we need to create. So if you review the data just imported, you will notice lot of zeros. Create system module to filter and save view. Whenever you get lot of zeros, in that situation what will you do generally? So simply we use apply filter to avoid that zeros. So you can see here, system 13 module you can see here. So you can insert new module, system 13, and what are the dimension we should take here? Account plot and SKU plot. So both dimension we should take here, account plot and SKU plot list. So we don't have any time, we should remove time. So category under system module, functional area is administration. So you can see here, line item is has data. Has data is our line item. We don't want this time here, so we can keep. We can change format here, boolean. We have boolean format here. Yes, so after completing this one, we can check. So you can see here, add formula for has data line item in system 013 account SKU filter module. Consider the formula. We need to add formula here. So we have formulas already. System 013, our module name is system 013. You can see for system 013, Okay, fine, we can I will check it, no problem. So later, so you can see some hints they are providing here. So how could you sum the data overall time periods? So all periods is not aggregation method at the model level time scale. The formula should check and the total for total of all product SKU volume over all time periods to the determine. So if value is not equal to 0, so you can see here hint number 1. So what they are asking, they are providing some hint here. So the formula doesn't need any optional parameters start period to aggregate end period aggregation of the aggregation method. So look like this example, time sum function they are giving. So one hint they are giving time sum. So sum revenue overall time period we want, we should use time sum here. So excluding the brought forward period if one exists. So the useful when you do not have the total all time periods available, such as when general weeks or time scale is used. So one hint they are providing, time sum we should use here. And second hint you can see here. So second what they are giving, you can use operator to define if value is not equal to 0. So see the Anapedia resources on operators and constraint. Take look at less than or greater than, not equal. Example, if x is not equal to 1000, then 1 else 2. So if they are asking if then else statement here can be used, compare numbers, date, list, text and boolean provided they are same the data type. So we should use here if then else statement. So then we should submit here in our hash data formula. So then what happens? So you will get answer like whenever you get data, so you will get right click here, true statement you will get. So whenever you get a false statement you will get here. So you don't get anything here in check boxes. So that is the difference. By applying the formula you will get answer here. Actually I have stored this one. So you can see here in this also I have stored for hash data formula here. So okay, anyway, no problem, I will search and we can submit it. So we can implement this formula, nothing will happen, no problem. So we should use this constraint and rules and regulations and we can implement here, so that you will get proper answer. So it will get data on the base of whenever you get data you will get answer here, and give true statement. Whenever you don't have any data you will get false statement. So this is the way. So to get data here, so we can wrap up this session. So you can see here next you should compare our screenshot with this one after writing the formula. So we can continue tomorrow this class, no problem. So anyway, so you can complete after creating this saved view, almost we can complete this one, like user story number 3 also we can complete. So you can see here later we have like user story number 4. So each and everything we can complete within 1 or 2 days. We can complete this sprint 1, so within 1 or 2 days. So you can see yes, fine. We whatever we have completed so far, please try to complete these activities. So these are little tricky, we should think more and we should implement each and everything here. So try to complete all these activities today itself, so that we can go ahead very quickly. So otherwise you will